Every day, archaeologists are working hard in the hope of finding evidence to explain the past. Most often, their progress is excruciatingly slow, but every now and then, they stumble upon a discovery that has the power to change our understanding of history. From the discovery of an ancient city that played a key role in Rome's occupation of the Iberian Peninsula to stumbling upon a once-lost Egyptian settlement, in the next few minutes, you'll learn about 4 of the most amazing archaeological discoveries made in the last 60 days. First, we'll travel to the Iberian Peninsula, where archaeologists believe they've uncovered evidence of an ancient city that played a key role in the Punic Wars between the mighty Carthaginians and the Roman Republic. In the 1st millennium BC, Carthage, a renowned maritime civilization, built elaborate harbors across the Mediterranean and as far as the coast of Spain and possibly Britain. In 218 BC, this civilization clashed with the Romans in a fierce battle that took place in Catalonia around the Iberian city of Chiesa. Despite the serious implications of the battle, which opened the door to Roman occupation of the Iberian Peninsula, the exact location of Kisa has eluded researchers for decades, until a team of archaeologists from the University of Barcelona found credible evidence that the lost city was located near the city of Valls, specifically in the locality of Villar. The discovery is published on the university's website. Jaume Noguera, head of the excavation, talks in detail about the discovery and the rigorous research process that led the team to the conclusion, stating, "The findings of Punic coins and ballistic projectiles in the ruined houses, as well as the stratigraphic sequence of the settlement and the analysis of historical sources, are the evidence that allow us to be confident that the Villar site in Valls is the ancient Kisa." The researchers used the data from their findings to reconstruct the events that took place in this small town more than 2,000 years ago. The Carthaginians, under the command of the infamous general Hannibal Barca, are believed to have first attacked the Iberian city of Kisa in 218 BC, partially destroying it in the process. But a few months later, Roman troops arrived and destroyed the Carthaginian forces massed near Kisa. According to the ancient Roman historians Livy and Polybius, this decisive battle marked the beginning of Roman rule over the Iberian Peninsula and thus cemented the small city of Kisa in the history books. The next discovery takes us to the jungles of Guatemala, where an unusual altar leads archaeologists to speculate about a connection between the Maya of the region and a thriving culture located some 1,000 kilometers, 600 miles away. Located in the Petén Valley, in the north of the country, Tikal is undoubtedly one of the most famous Maya sites. It represents many aspects of their traditional culture, from towering pyramids and iconic hieroglyphic inscriptions to religious and artistic artifacts that shed light on this ancient civilization. However, the recent discovery of an altar dating back 1,700 years is intended to prove that some aspects of their culture were influenced by the Teotihuacan civilization, whose center is near modern Mexico City. Prior to the discovery, archaeologists had established some level of cultural interaction, although the true extent of the relationship was often disputed. With the discovery of the ornate altar, in which researchers found the remains of 2 people, it now appears that the Maya-Teotihuacan connection was much more widespread than previously thought. Brown University's website informs us of this discovery and publishes photos. The walls of the altar were covered with various paintings, one of which depicted a face wearing a feathered adornment with bright red and yellow colors. This design resembles other depictions of a deity known as the storm god, more common in Teotihuacan than in Maya art. Further evidence to support the claim comes from the faces buried beneath the altar. The deceased were placed in a seated position, which is more commonly seen in graves at Teotihuacan than at Tikal. Stephen Houston, a professor at Brown University who specializes in Maya culture, sheds light on the discovery, providing invaluable insights. He explains, "Wealthy Teotihuacan leaders came to Tikal and created replicas of the ritual facilities that existed in their hometown. This is a story of an empire and how important kingdoms were deployed to control others. This new find lends strong weight to the view that this was not light contact or simply trade. The interaction involved belligerent powers who built an enclave near the local royal palace. The implications of the recently discovered altar are profound. It confirms that rituals typical of Teotihuacan were performed in the very center of Tikal and by people whose culture was completely alien to the local one. The researchers write that these cultural practices point to some level of Teotihuacan influence in Tikal. This discovery significantly changes our understanding of Maya culture and its relationship to Teotihuacan, adding further complexity to the existential historical narrative. Our next discovery takes us to Egypt, west of the ancient city of Alexandria. Nestled between the Mediterranean Sea and Lake Mariut, just a few miles from where Alexander the Great founded his city, is the archaeological site of Kom el Nugus. Modern archaeologists have long associated this site with the Hellenistic period, assuming it to be nothing more than a Greek necropolis and a city by the water that arose during Alexander's reign. But those assumptions were shattered when, beneath layers of Hellenistic remains, archaeologists uncovered the remains of a 3,500-year-old city dating back to the 18th dynasty of ancient Egypt. The shockwave that this discovery is causing in the archaeological community is palpable. Cambridge University Press first reported the discovery and published photos of the find. It turns out that this ancient city was hidden under the ruins of a Hellenistic site for thousands of years. Many researchers now believe that the Hellenistic site was built sometime around 332 BC, during the period when the Egyptians willingly allowed the power of Alexander to free them from the aggression of Persian rule. However, the origins of the site date back to the heyday of Egypt, when famous and legendary rulers such as Akhenaten, Tutankhamun, Seti I, and Ramses II stood at the head of the kingdom. Under the leadership of Sylvain Denin, a team of archaeologists from the University of Lyon in France played a key role in the discovery of the lost settlement. For some time, researchers have noticed the existence of a mound or calm that defies easy explanation. Now, however, the team has unearthed a variety of objects dating back to Egypt's Golden Age that indicate the site's significance. One of these objects is an amphora stamped with the name Meritaten, which most likely dates to as early as 1300 BC. Meritaten Tasherit, or Meritaten the Younger, is known to have been the eldest daughter of Akhenaten and Nefertiti. The discovery of this wine vessel and a grape grinder at the site leads archaeologists to suggest that the site may have been a wine production facility in antiquity. Denin believes that the seal bearing Meritaten's name means that the wine came from a royal estate. Thanks to the diligent work of researchers and archaeologists, we can now make further connections between the so-called pharaoh heretic Akhenaten and the site. These connections stem from the name Meritaten, which translates as "she who is beloved of Aten." According to researchers, Aten was the name of a solar deity imposed on the Egyptian people by Akhenaten when he ascended the throne in the 14th century BC. He attempted to introduce an early form of monotheism by placing Aten above the other deities of the traditional Egyptian pantheon, which did not sit well with his subjects. This eventually led to religious and political turmoil, and after his death, various groups in Egypt attempted to destroy every statue and carving of Akhenaten in the hopes of removing his reign from the history books. The next discovery takes us to the Olduvai Gorge, a site in northern Tanzania often considered by many researchers to be the cradle of humanity. This steep gorge, located in the Ngorongoro Conservation Area, is known for its wealth of early hominin remains, which offer invaluable information about the evolution of our species. More recently, a team of archaeologists discovered several bones made by humans whose age is estimated to be around 1.5 million years old, revealing that our early ancestors were much more advanced than previously thought. According to the study, which we learn about from the website Science Alert, the tools are made from elephant and hippopotamus leg bones and are over 1 million years old. This makes them significantly older than any tools made from shaped bones found so far. Speaking about the implications of the discovery, the study's lead author Ignacio de la Torre, a Paleolithic archaeologist at the Spanish National Research Council's Center for Human and Social Sciences, said the ancient hominins who painstakingly crafted these tools knew how to incorporate technical innovations by adapting their knowledge of stoneworking to the manipulation of bony remains. The discovery also shows advances in the cognitive abilities and mental structures of these hominins. After analyzing the tools, the researchers found that they were shaped through a process known as hammering. This technique involves striking a larger stone to break off small pieces of a smaller stone. eventually producing a sharp edge on the latter. Study co-author Renata Peters stresses the importance of the study, stating, "It means that human ancestors were able to transfer skills from stone to bone, a level of sophisticated knowledge we haven't seen elsewhere for another million years." If these findings have intrigued you, wait, because that's not all. More stunning finds have been made in the past 2 months, which you can find out about in detail in the video you see to the left of your screens. Click on it to continue with them.